Welcome to the Tansson Talks show. I'm Brandon, the host of the show, and I always love doing this. Heading into this episode 128, I'm very excited to welcome back my guest here today, Teo. Teo, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you for having me again.
Of course, I'm so excited, like I said, to catch up with you. And so, first of all, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I know this one has been a long day at work, but it's a nice time of the day now, so I'm good. Thank you.
I'm so glad to hear that, and that your day, although long, is going well.
Thanks.
Of course. And so, since it's been a moment since you've been on, if you're able to, do us a grand introduction of reintroducing yourself for the watching or listening audience here today.
Yeah, of course. Well, my name is Teo Landoni. I'm a senior at Universidad Argentina de la Empresa in Argentina, majoring in public relations. And I also currently serve as the vice president of chapter development for PRSSA International. I'm very passionate about communications, leadership development, and also fostering inclusive spaces where everyone can thrive. And beyond PRSSA, I work as an executive assistant at EY, and I'm deeply interested in how professional experience and student leadership can complement each other to create real impact. So that's what I try to do every day.
I love that. I'm so excited, like I said, for us to go ahead and, like I said, get into our discussion.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Yeah, and so I think it's definitely appropriate for us to almost look back as to our previous time we had a chance to chat, which was a whole 18 months ago. Can you believe how long ago that was?
It was, yeah, when you told me earlier when we were talking about this, I couldn't believe it. I mean, it felt like a full period of my life, but also like a few weeks. So it's very strange.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, at the time you were a junior at your university and the PRSSA National Vice President of BEDI, Belonging, Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion. And now you're in your final semester and Vice President for the International Committee for Chapter Development. I mean, like that's definitely, I mean, a major shift, I guess, over this past year and a half. How has this all been for you?
Thank you. Well, I think looking back from being the vice president of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, which was the name back in the day, to now leading chapter development for PRSSA, it's incredible to see how much I've grown as a person, as a professional, but also how much our community has grown over these years. Uh, I mean, working on DEI taught me a lot about empathy, listening to my team, and advocacy as one of the main things I think I've learned. And those skills are crucial in any leadership role. So I think it was a very good first step in my career. I was very passionate about DI at the time. I'm still am, but at the time I was working for a political party in their DI team, so it was like my thing. But now moving into chapter development, I had to kind of shift into more strategic thinking and supported chapters across the country and across the continent. So managing PRSSA now feels like a bigger responsibility in a way. And it's been challenging, but also very deeply rewarding. I mean, it's given me a real sense of my accomplishments and also seeing tangible impact on the students' experiences. When I was a VP for DIMB back in the day, we worked a lot on some initiatives regarding accessibility and trying to make PRSSA more accessible for everyone and also a safe space to all our members. And now I'm working into how we can translate that into chapter level experience and what support we can give from the international committee to everyone who needs an extra hand. So I think kind of the adaptability and the learning that leading the society has is great, and it's a very good thing to learn. It's an experience I definitely recommend to everyone who is a part of PRSSA or any other like student organization. I mean, I think it's good to stay involved not only for you but also for your community, and being exposed to that kind of responsibility makes you learn a lot of things. But then on a more like personal side, I've been doing well. It's been a very fulfillment like area of my life. I think it's been a very complete period. I'm balancing my final semester at university. As you said, I'm graduating this December. I'm also managing my leadership responsibilities in PRSSA and also my professional work on a daily basis. But at the same time, I think I've been learning a lot about resilience, self care, and that's especially because I've been navigating personal challenges and dealing with grief over the past 9 months. So I think that reminded me how important it is to stay grounded and being responsible, but also lean on our community when we need that and focus on growth even when our life is hard, but also listening to our body and our minds.
Well, I so appreciate. I mean, what and what you were saying, and not just the professional transitions in your life, but also the the personal ones as well. That definitely do take an impact on you and your personal well being.
Thank you. Yes, I think it's a lesson we always have to learn the hard or the right way, but uh, yeah, it's a good thing to learn next to your community and not on your own.
Yeah, I mean, it really is a good thing to learn. And I actually want to pivot just for a moment, going back to your introduction. That you had said something along the lines of putting together like your professional work and experiences with student experiences. And so, are you able to actually go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. I mean, um, I think we always are part of a lot of things at the same time. So we always find ways to connect. I mean, I work at EY, it's a big four. A lot of people work here. And that means a lot of PRSA and PRSSA people. So when I first started, I got to know a lot of people who were involved in different teams, and I actually messaged on teams like people I knew from PRSA, like, "Hey, I'm working here now. If you have like tips or things that I should know when I'm starting, that would be great to know." And a lot of them were like very, I mean, open to the idea of grabbing a coffee at the office or just talking via Teams because some of them are in the US, but I think we always find ways to connect our job or our responsibilities outside of PRSSA with our community. Uh, I mean, in that way, I think my professional experience, not only at EY, but also when I worked in PR marketing, and then I also worked in political campaigns, and then my leadership experience in PRSSA kind of complement each other in a really meaningful way. I mean, at a company and not specifically at EY, I'm developing more like organizational skills, managing a lot of priorities at the same time, trying to learn how to navigate high level professional environments. And at the same time, PRSSA has allowed me to develop leadership, strategic thinking, and like mentorship skills in a more student focused context or like mentor to mentee aspiration as well. So I think the combination of both our working side and our PRSSA side uh, teach me how to balance our like what we call operational excellence in the business, but also um, a people centered leadership. That is something I've learned at PRSSA. Uh, I think also they inform each other in a way. I mean, the structure, the planning, or the communication skills I have because of EY or because of my work experience help me manage chapters and initiatives in PRSA more effectively. And also the leadership, creativity, and empathy I've been cultivating in PRSA help me approach challenges at work with more perspective or flexibility. So I think that kind of skills transfer we have into both areas and also the networking that we have are the most important things that get connect.
Well, I'm glad that you are able to connect. I mean, your personal and real world experiences with what you're doing in PRSSA and really translating that over and allowing for others to have that same type of experience and, I guess, graceful transition that you did.
Yeah, I mean, we're always changing. And the professional environment is changing. PRSA is changing. PRSA changes because of that. And change is always good. It makes space for new things, but also it helps us kind of learn what to keep and what to let go. So I think it's good to always try to connect our different spaces and our different groups of people because that opens up our perspective and helps us make decisions with more information and more empathy.
I love that. And I really like that you're emphasizing, I mean, that word empathy, which I think is just such a powerful, not just word or phrase, but I mean, a position to be in, to be empathetic to others and try to get to know and understand where someone is. And what would you say empathy means to you?
What empathy means to me?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a very wide concept in a way. Um, but I mean, I guess to me, leading with empathy means understanding the people you work with, and that doesn't refer specifically to what they do, but it's kind of more oriented to how they feel, what motivates them, what challenges they are facing at the time. So I think it kind of relates to listening actively and trying to recognize everyone's perspective and making decisions that consider both the outcomes that we need, but also the human impact that we're having. So, I mean, my experience with BRSSA, whether mentoring other students, being a mentee myself, or now coordinating all the chapters internationally, empathy has been essential, I would say, to creating an inclusive space where everyone feels valued and supported. Um, I think that also reflects to how I manage my work area, because it helps me communicate effectively, collaborate with other teams, and kind of anticipate the needs before they become problems. So leading with empathy isn't easy, I would say. It requires a lot of like patience, reflection, self-awareness, and self-reflection as well. But sometimes navigating your own challenges as well, and understanding that although we may have a leadership position in a team, and then being led by others in another team, um, helps us navigate both sides of the experience, and approaching that builds trust, builds loyalty, and it has a meaningful impact on everyone. So I would say empathy creates engagement, it creates morality, it creates more effective teams. Uh, and also, when it comes to decision making, we balance the goals with people's well-being, and that is something that we have to remind all the time to everyone in a leadership position, and also to ourselves if we're leading a team.
Well, I really love, I mean, you being able to describe that in your own words, which I think is just so powerful. And even taking a step back, going to, even where we left off during our last discussion, how was the remainder of, your junior year?
Well, my junior year was exciting and also very tiring. I mean, it's a perfect mix of excitement and hard work. My favorite part was, of course, collaborating with my peers and mentors in a lot of meaningful projects, especially around our student development and BRSSA, and also equity initiatives that we've been working, as I said, regarding accessibility. Um, and I mean, it was a very good year for me in a way. I accomplished a lot of things professionally and personally. It was the first time that I took a first, yeah, it was the first time I took like a full week break. I didn't bring my laptop. I didn't reply to any emails. I turned off my notifications. Um, and it was the first time that I learned the importance of taking care of ourselves. And I think it's good to have that. Um, if I have a regret though, because that was the last time of the year, it's probably not slowing down enough to kind of enjoy the moments. I think that life happens and we have to be present at the time to enjoy it. And sometimes we're very focused on what we're trying to accomplish, our goals, our like long-term initiatives we're trying to pursue. Um, and we forget to live those little moments that are also needed for us and for our mindset and for our well-being. So I've learned that balancing the ambition of our professional life and also the mindfulness of our personal life is essential. And it's okay to pause and process the achievements and the challenges um, at the same time.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to, I mean, to take that 1 week, break, no computers or assignments, and just take a break. How did it feel to have that, like that breather moment for you?
So The first, I would say, a day or a day and a half, it was very hard because I mean, the habit to go into my email, check things, talk to people. It's like my day today. I wake up and then I just open my laptop and start doing things. But it was weird to not do that on the first few days. Then I realized that the world moves on, even if you're not there. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I mean, people can work it out if you're not there, if you're in PTO, if you're enjoying some time for yourselves, the team will handle it. I mean, it also taught me how to trust other people in a way at work, at school, because we were dealing with a lot of like final projects and whatever. And it's like, uh, being responsible enough to let your team manage things when you're not there is good. And I think that's a lesson I've learned on a few days. I mean, on that week. Um, so it felt very weird at the beginning, but then I kind of found myself in a more quiet and relaxing environment, and I realized that I've been needing that for a long time, and I didn't have the neither like the time or the commitment to take a break. So it was good at the end.
I'm so glad it was, I mean, good at the end. I know for myself, I have trouble to just trying to take that step back. I would say my big moment of doing that was actually the beginning of this year. I took a volunteer trip for a few days, and I truly just like I was like, okay, I'm not in the continental U.S. at the moment, and I'm not going to try to connect to internet, and I'm just going to relax. Don't get me wrong, I may have like contacted a few people, but more so for fun and not because of doing anything business related.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's great to have that balance. I think sometimes, and us as young leaders and as young people who are trying to get a good career and like secure a job, and as well, I mean, having a partner or projects in your life on a more long-term basis, uh, we're always running and like trying to pursue things all the time, to accomplish things all the time. And having time for yourself is also an accomplishment. And like being able to take a break and have a team that supports you and a group of friends who are there for you when you need them, it's also an accomplishment we have to be proud of. So I think a lot of times we focus a lot on the professional side and what we want for ourselves and our careers, and we forget about the other aspect of it. That is, we can't have that if we are not feeling well, if we're not in the right mindset, if we don't have anyone to share it with. So having these kind of abrupt breaks or like things that make you consider a different perspective, I think is very valuable. And once you feel confident and comfortable not doing anything for a day or for a few days, you made it, I would say.
I love that, and I'm so glad that I mean, let's say that you're able to have that that moment. And I know when we're also speaking that there's so many things that we were discussing, but I know we were truly in the lead up for what was it for the oh gosh.
I
Well,
think it
I
was
know in
leadership
the
assembly.
yes, yes. So I know when we were speaking last time, we were leading up to the leadership assembly. I think our discussion actually released around that same time. And so, do you remember was it that time for you, and how yeah, and how overall that was for you? Because I know we spoke about it quite a bit leading up to, and we were in email chats in the weeks before and after.
Yeah. Well, leadership assembly is my favorite PRSSA event. I mean, I love Icon, but first it's not full PRSA because we have PRSA in the room, and also it's like a more business-y kind of event. And leadership assembly is for our chapter leaders, it's for the students. You go there, you have fun, and you learn, and you take home a lot of things that can help you build your chapter and build yourself as a leader. But it's a more, I would say, student environment because it's full of people from different different universities and different chapters, and it's great. I love it. It's my very uh preferred event for PRSSA. But I've been there 3 times now, and what I can say, it's about it, if I have to sum it up, I think leadership assembly is transformative. I mean, when I first got there, it was in 23, and it was 2023, and it was Scottsdale, Arizona. And it was my first time in the US. It was my first time going to a BRSSA at the time national event, and it was my first time interacting with other students from the US. Um, so in a way, it was my first time as well, fully immersing myself in PRSSA as a community, and kind of meeting the students, meeting PRSA professionals from around the country. I think it was a very good experience. I remember feeling and leaving home inspired by the level of dedication, hard work, and creativity in every room of the leadership assembly. And I think at the time, the experience pushed me out of my comfort zone, and it challenged me to network more actively, to be motivated, and on the long term commit, I would say, to more leadership opportunities deeply. And it taught me that connection and mentorship are foundational to our growth. Um, it was a very good experience. It was my first exposure to leadership culture in a way. And then I've built relationships and friendships that I keep until today that I know will continue with me in the years to come. Um, I think it also, when I first attended Leadership Assembly, it was the first time that um, other people that didn't even know me at the time trusted me and believed in my purpose and my vision, in my potential, and helped me get there. Um, so I think it was a very good experience to also learn that I cannot do everything on my own, and then sometimes I have to trust others to help and ask for help, which has been a thing that I've learned over the years that I now appreciate. Um, and then leadership assembly number two was Seattle, and I ran for president that year. I didn't get the position. Milagros got it. She's my one of my best friends and my my workmate at PRSA. So I was very proud of her. I cried for her. I cried for me as well. But it was a very like fulfilling moment. Um, she had been working very hard all the time, like 3 years in a row, and she really wanted it, and she had everything she needed, and I mean, she's an amazing person. She's an amazing friend. So I felt it for her, not only on the professional side of things, but also as my friend and as a person that I've known for long years now. Um, so it was kind of bittersweet for me, but it was very good for her, very good for PRSSA. She had an amazing term as a president, and our society grew a lot with her leadership. And then leadership assembly number three was this year. That is when we reconnected. You and I talked a lot about it on the previous weeks and then after it. And this year was North Carolina. So I spent a few days before in South Carolina with Alicia Garciola, the now international president, with Megan Van Vollenhoven. She was also a VP of PRSSA, and with Olivia McCurdy, she was the VP of Chapter Development. So Alicia and Megan took us in like for a few days. We crashed their beds, we crashed their sofas, we crashed their places. It was amazing. They took us to a basketball game. I've never been to a basketball game before, and it was amazing. Like I understood the important aspect of like college sports. That's not a thing in Argentina, so it was very great to be exposed to that experience. And then we drove together to North Carolina, and it was a very good, very, very good leadership assembly. I was elected as vice president of chapter development. We also passed a bylaw to change the name from PRSSA National to PRSSA International. And that is a project that we've been working on for a few years with Milagros and with other people. So it was very rewarding for our community, and also reconnecting with people from PRSA that I haven't been connected with in over like in person for a year, because I attended leadership assembly in 2024. I didn't go to ICON that year, and then it was my like my my time to be back in the US and on PRSSA in person. So it was great to reconnect with a lot of people.
I definitely know that. I mean, throughout your free leadership assemblies now, that you've had a whirlwind, I should say, of various different experiences and seeing all different parts of the U.S. And so, like, how does it feel being able to, I mean, to experience so many different events? And I'll ask a little bit about your travels later. But how does it feel being able to experience those leadership assemblies, and especially the one last year with that very what's that bittersweet time, both being happy and yeah, I mean just bittersweet overall for you.
Hmm. I mean, what can I say? I mean, PRSA events and trips have always been incredibly rewarding, surreal, and impactful. I think there's something special about being in a space full of students and professionals who are passionate about communications and leadership. I mean, it's inspiring and sometimes can be a little intimidating. I mean, my first time at Icon was like, well, there's a lot of important people here. I'm on the committee, so I can't mess up. You feel like you have to know everyone. You have to know what everyone does, what everyone is involved in. And I think it was a very, like, thrilling and exciting experience at the time because then you realize that they are very important people indeed, but they talk to you as if they've known you for years. And it's a very strange feeling. I don't know how to describe it, but you feel like you belong in the room, even though it's your first time there. You feel the sense of community and of belonging that uh, it's part of the PRSA and PRSA experience. Um, I mean, then from the other side, traveling for those events allows me to connect with people that I work with on a daily basis, but I don't live in the US. So connecting with people from the US and from other countries and kind of navigating that experience in person and to see firsthand how leadership and teamwork operate in different cultural contexts is great. I mean, at the time when I first got my scholarship to go, no, not scholarship, but like a grant to go to leadership assembly, it was like one of the, I wouldn't say goals, but aspiring things I wished as a young student was traveling for work. I mean, I was thinking of how would I like my job or my life to be in, I don't know, 5, 10 years after graduation, and it was like I need to travel for work. That looks good. That is great. It feels like something cool people do. And then like second semester in college, I got to PRSSA and like to an event, and then I started traveling twice a year for PRSSA, and it was like, wow, I'm living my dream that I was hoping to live in like 5, 10 years from now, and it feels amazing. Of course, not every moment is easy. I mean, I have to take time off work. Sometimes the calendar overlaps with my midterms here, so I have to talk to a lot of people about my trips and explain to everyone why I have to go and why they should probably give me another date for the exam. Um, but then diving deep into your question, in 2024, I ran for to be a national president, and I didn't win. At the time, I think it was disappointing for me. That would be the first word that comes to mind. It felt like a setback. I mean, like I've been working towards something and then you don't get it, and you know that the person who got it, I mean, Milagros is my friend. She deserved it as me, or even more than me, I would say. And everyone running that year was amazing. So it was like there's no bad outcome. It doesn't matter if I get it or someone else gets it. It's good for PR to say if any of us runs this thing. So it is weird to feel bad about something that you know it only impacts you. I mean, when you're in a leadership position, you learn how to care about how things impact the community or the team, or like a bigger aspect of things. And then it was like, why am I feeling bad about this? I mean, it's good for PRSSA, and I felt like feeling bad about it was being selfish in a way. Uh, I mean, in hindsight, it was an important lesson for me in resilience. Uh, and what it also was, I wouldn't say my first, but one of my first like big no's, and it wasn't a no from another person I could talk to and like ask about why or kind of feel no they made a bad choice, whatever. It was like it's an election process. You can win, you can lose. It doesn't mean you're bad at what you do, but it brings back a lot of feelings of like imposter syndrome or like beliefs you have in yourself, and it kind of renew that in the moment you don't hear your name when they announce who the next president is going to be. But I remember that when I mean after that it was a very long Q&A. We have a Q&A up when we vote for each position, and it was very, very long. So after we picked the next president, we took a break. Um, so I hugged Mealy, I congratulated her, I let her know that I was going to support everything she needed me to do. And then I went outside to like a quiet space and I sat down and I was like, okay, I need to take this in because the assembly keeps running. I have other like 3 more months to stay in this position. I have to think of what I'm going to do, but also what PRSA is going to do. So it was like I need to switch from emotional to business mode. I couldn't do it. I mean, I cried for like a minute, I would say, and then Oakley, who was part of the committee back then, he was actually the chapter development vice president. He got to me and he was like, "This is not the end." And that was like, yes, you're right. I mean, I needed to hear that from someone else, and I thank him for it. And then I went back to the room. I grabbed a cup of coffee. I sat down, and then we continued the election process. And I dropped down, which means that I ran for another position aside of president. So I dropped down to my position at the time that was DEI, and I didn't get it as well. Thankfully, the person I was preparing for a whole year got it, so it was great. I mean, same thing. Great outcome for PRSSA, not a good outcome for me. And then I decided to drop down again, and I lost again. So it was like, okay, this is not meant to be. I have to lose this year. I have to go home. I have to rethink my whole life. But I think when when I took that in really and like understood that losing the election doesn't mean anything. I mean, it just means that you're not ready for it at the time, or that the people who have to vote don't think you're ready at the time. And it's also a way of how you present yourself, how you build your platform. So, I mean, it involves a lot of different aspects, but uh, on the long run, I think that it taught me that leadership is not the title. And that is something that I've learned in PRSSA because you always lead. It doesn't matter if you hold a position or if you're like I was at the time like holding to PRSA because it was my safe space and I didn't want to let go of that. Um, Leadership, it's about how you influence, you mentor, you support other people, and that includes when things don't go as you planned. So that experience combined with the joy of like traveling and being to events and everything, I think has deepened my appreciation for our community, to mentorship opportunities because I've talked to over 50 professionals in this time I ran for chapter development, and um, I think the ultimate lesson is that growth comes from every challenge, and that is what matters.
I love that sentiment that growth comes, from every challenge. And I definitely know that, I mean, that you did not let that, let's say, that election process, the many of them, let's say, define who you were and the involvement that you uh, could have. Because I know that, from the day that you joined PRSSA to even now in your current position, that you've been one of the number one advocates. And so, like, how was that year going from from being a vice president to then going to a subcommittee member and then coming back now once again as a different vice president?
Yeah. Um, I mean, I think it was a good experience. It taught me a lot. It helped me adapt to PRSA from a different angle. I mean, I was a student at Wale in my first year, and I wasn't involved in any kind of leadership. Then I was the host for our first in-person leadership um thing that was our district conference. We got 500 people there, so it was like the first time I got involved into a more leadership area of things. Um, but then since then I was leading, so I kind of disconnected from what it feels to be a member of a chapter and like just go to your chapter meetings. And I think something that happens when you're involved a lot in leadership positions is that you kind of become numb to other things, or like you don't have the ability to envision what other people are going through because you're so focused on the strategic area of things that you don't know what it feels to members. So I think it was a very good experience to kind of go back and see, okay, my work had an impact. These are the insights I can get from it. This is the feedback I can get from it. This is what I should do now. So it helped me kind of understand the next steps of my career and in PRSA as a whole. So as you said, I served on the chapter development subcommittee, and I got to see kind of the behind the scenes work of supporting chapters, from identifying the challenges to sharing the best practices that we hold. It was the first time that I got to experience how leadership works in every chapter, uh, how everyone can lead in a different way. And I think I learned how much thought and collaboration goes into supporting the students. Um, and it kind of helped me develop more skills in the strategic planning or communication, and definitely a lot of empathy. But it really prepared me for my current role, and it gave me a lot of confidence in managing more large scale initiatives. I think it is a very good experience to be on a subcommittee. Sometimes because you want to run for an office and you don't know how it feels or like what it looks like. So it's a good first approach to things. Or if you can't make it to a position because you know you can't commit to that much time and responsibility, being in a subcommittee is a very good option as well. So it's something that I recommend, and it's something that I liked about my experience in PRSSA. Um, so it was good to have that perspective and to pull back from the strategic viewing of things and see what chapters deal with on a daily basis.
Well, I'm so glad. I mean, that you were able. I mean, to take that time, reassess where you were, and yeah, and find another avenue, finding another way to be involved, even if it doesn't have, let's say, a title that you were hoping for. And I'm so glad that. I mean, going back to how you were saying, like at leadership assembly, that you were able to get that reassuring message from Oakley, saying that this is not the end.
Yeah, I mean it was amazing, and if I really think back and be honest about it, I wasn't ready to be president. I mean, I thought that at the time, and I think I would have done my best if I got the position. But uh, I now know a lot of things that I didn't at the time, and I think are essential to leading our society. So um, I think it was the best for both PRSSA and for me.
Well, I'm so glad. I mean, that you're able to. I mean, to see that. And would you say that you were able to take some of that energy and that thought and reflection into your current position now?
Definitely, yeah. I mean, the whole process was rewarding at the end. Then when I got to the subcommittee with Olivia McCurdy, she was the vice president of chapter development last year, and at the time she was first going to run for my position for the EI, so that's why I knew her. Uh, and then she ended up running for chapter development. So when the subcommittee applications went out, I wasn't sure if I was going to apply or not. I was like, I have to let go. I need to not be involved for at least a year and kind of be a chapter member, enjoy the benefits of being a PRSSA member, but not be involved on leadership. And then she reached out to me. She messaged me on LinkedIn and was like, "Hey, have you seen this?" And I was like, "Yeah, not sure what to do about it." And she was like, "No, you should definitely apply for a subcommittee. You would do great." So then it came like, well, which one should I participate in or like apply for? There was, of course, the Proud Council, which is for the INB. It was chapter development. There also was a publications team that helps with our brand engagement vice president, and then the digital communication squad for our VP of digital communications. And kind of managing all our social media. And it was like, well, DEI, no. I mean, it was the vice president, so I don't want to continue involved in the same thing. I want to try new things. Then it was, well, social media is not my thing. I mean, I can manage my own. I don't think I can do it for another person. And then it was like, okay, publication sounds good. I mean, it's about writing, it's about a podcast. Those are things I enjoy. And then it was chapter development, and it was like, okay, what actually is chapter development? You know, what does it mean? How does it work? And I got to investigate, like to research and read a lot about each position and like more in depth thought of how the position works. And I was like, yeah, I like this. This is it's a very open and wide position. I think it includes a lot of things and it overlaps with other BPs in a lot of areas. So it basically means teamwork for everything. And I was like, yeah, this is the one I want. I applied. I got interviewed, and then after a few weeks, I got accepted, and it was great. And then regarding what you said about Oakley, I also I'm not sure if I would share if I can share this, but when I lost that position and uh I mean I didn't stay involved in a leadership position for a year. I was like the first feeling I got was like I was being rejected by my own community, and it's not real. I mean, it's not a real feeling. It's not what happens, but for me, it was like, why would I stay involved if they didn't see my value, if they didn't see what I can do or what I can propose? And then it was I talked to Millie about it, and I talked to Oakley about it, and I talked to a lot of people about it, and they were like, "It's not about being recognized. It's about doing it because you love it. It's because doing it means that you care about the community and that you think you can do something about things uh, that are challenging or chapters, and that you can add value to PRSSA. So sometimes people don't feel like you're the right fit. Sometimes people don't even know you. Sometimes people don't even read the delegate packets that we send, so they don't know who they're voting for. But it's okay. It's part of the process. It's part of leading. It's part of understanding why you do what you do. So when then we got to this year, and I mean the process began, and you were supposed to apply and everything. I I emailed Janine Garcia from PRSA. She was the first person who I got into contact with PRSA, so she's very special for me. Uh, and I emailed her and I was like, I need to talk to you. I need help with deciding what to do with my career. And we got into a Zoom call, and I asked her, like, what do you think? I mean, I feel like I should run again because I have to prove myself that I can do it. I have to feel the awkwardness and the anxiety of waiting for other people to see what you want to do, and to give you a shot at it. But I also don't want to be selfish, and I also don't want to be biased and do something that is not good for our society. So I was aiming for a yes or no, like you should run, you shouldn't run. And in the end, she told me, like, you will know what to do when the time comes. You will understand why you're running or why you're not running. So it's not something that other people can tell you. You will know what to do. And I was like, okay, not the answer I was expecting, but the same happened like when I talked to Oakley. I mean, it was not the end. It was not about other people. So a few weeks and months passed by, and I was like, yes, I want to do it. And this time, I don't care if I get the position. I just want to run because it's for me. It's not for them. You know, it's not to prove myself. It's to expose myself to the same situation and kind of go through it from a different perspective, from a different standpoint. So I ran, I applied, I did everything, and I got the position. And it was like, okay, this time it was better for me, and hopefully it's being better for PRSSA as well.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to, I mean, to truly, I mean, reassess, and also, I mean, get outside advice, knowing that that you're not just doing this for yourself, but you're also doing this to, I mean, to help improve our, our society, to, to help make a difference. The original reasons you, I mean, ran the first time.
Yes, I mean it's different every time. A lot of people think that because you run several times, you don't feel the anxiety, you don't feel the uncertainty. But once you're up there on stage and people are asking you questions, and then you go and sit down and everyone is in silence and everyone is voting and you don't know what's happening, it's the same feeling. It doesn't matter if it's your first time, your second, third, whatever. It's if you're running, you feel that, and that is a feeling that grounds you in a way that I can't explain, but that is very important for everyone who is in a leadership position as well.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to have a successful outcome, this time around. And how has overall this term been for you?
So I think returning to PRSSA in a leadership position and returning to leadership assembly was very good, and it's still very good, and I'm enjoying it a lot more this time, I would say. I know a lot more about our society, about our chapters, our website. I mean, I memorize a lot of things, so I think I'm prepared for the experience. And I'm also enjoying the team side of it. I'm also enjoying our meetings, our coffee chats, meeting with members, and also interacting with people in person when I get to the US as well. So I think it's being more rewarding experience in a personal way. I think last time I ran because I wanted it for my career. This time I wanted it because of the experience. I wanted to really enjoy leading our society, and I think it's I'm doing it from a different perspective than when I did it last time, and that's great. Um, so this year was very different. I mean, I previously I was participating as a student learning from other people, and now I was contributing as a leader, so helping guide everything and like kind of be an advisor to a lot of people who come and ask questions. It's great, and it was fulfilling to see the cycle of learning and growth continue. This time because I got the position, but if I didn't got it, it would still be the same. I think it gives me a sense of purpose, knowing that I can support others in ways that I want to receive support. So it's humbling and it's inspiring. Um, and also, I mean, from a personal standpoint, this year has been very tough. I mean, last year I ended 2024 with like on a very good mood, I would say. As I shared in the beginning, I mean, it was my first time taking a break and like learning how to take care of myself and to enjoy the little things that happen and all the good things. So it was a very good year overall, and I closed it out very happy and very like looking forward to a good year ahead and graduating and everything. And then um, I think the lesson for this year is life happens. You can't avoid it. You can't uh, plan for it. I mean, I think you know this, but my mother passed away this year in January, and it was very quick. It was like a week in hospital, and then she passed away. And it was a Friday, the 24th, and my birthday was the 27th. And I was, um, it's something that you're not prepared for. Even, I mean, I didn't got time, it was a week, but even if your parent is going through a disease or like something that you know is going to take them away from you, I think it's something that you can be prepared for and that you don't know how to navigate until it happens. Um, and I was, I mean, that day my aunt called me, and then I went to the hospital, and then well she told me the news, and I got to see my mom, and I mean, well, all the things that happen when you lose someone happened. We started planning the funeral, and I was letting people know and everything, and I got an email from Janine saying you got a scholarship to go to leadership assembly, and I was like, wow. I mean, like, very good news and very bad news at the same day. I mean, probably the worst thing I could hear, uh, that my mom had passed away, and then 4 hours after that, planning her funeral and getting an email being like, "Hey, uh, you got this. You're going to be there this year," and I still haven't turned in my application, so I wasn't technically running, and I was like, what do I do? I mean, applications were closing. I had to reply and I like accept the travel grant. And I remember that I didn't reply to Janine on that day. I talked to Millie. I told her about my mom and I told her, hey, please tell Janine that I'm going to get through this later this week, but I need a few days off. Millie was traveling at the time. She was in Peru, I think, for holidays, and um I didn't reply to Janine. I did reply her email and I was like, okay, yes, I'm going to be there. But I found myself on the point of what do I do now? I mean, I feel like I need time, of course, to process grief, to go through my last year in college. At the time, I was thinking about changing jobs as well. So it was like a lot of things are happening at the time. Should I put more pressure to myself? Should I do something else? Should I just wait? Should I finish school this year? Should I push it one more year? It was like a lot of things that I wasn't sure about. And I still don't know why I decided to run. I think it was because I knew it was going to be a good experience and it was going to be good for me. And PRSSA is always my second home and my safe space because of the community. So it was like I felt like it was a message that I got the scholarship on the same day that my mom passed away. In a way that it was like she wouldn't want me to give up or like to push things because of this. I mean, she wants me to move forward. She wants me to still do the things that I love. So I decided to run, to don't quit school, to continue doing everything that I'm doing on a daily basis, and here I am now. But I think it was I mean like a different experience, of course. And at the time, it was. I mean, I remember everything that happened and like leadership assembly and all, but it's a kind of blurry space in my mind because I wasn't fully present in everything that was happening. I always felt like I was levitating in the room. But I think looking back, I made the right choice and approaching leadership from that perspective and I mean, from that decision helps me be the student, the person, and the leader that I am now.
Well, first and foremost, yeah, as I told you back in January, I mean, let's say I truly, let's say my heart is with you and your, let's say your family, and I hope that, yeah, personally, you know, of course, outside of everything else, that that you have been doing well as you've been progressing these past 9 months as of recording.
Thank you. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone's kind messages and support. It was like, I mean, I think it's still weird. Processing grief is not something that you can schedule or manage or plan. It's like I'm used to planning big strategy, whatever thing I do, doing everything in advance. I have everything in my calendar, and this strikes you on a Tuesday coming back from work, or at home because you're watching a movie, or at the supermarket because you see a person your age with their mother. I mean, it can strike anytime. And I think what I've learned is not to suppress it and kind of embrace it and go through it in the most kind and healthy way that I can. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think running and having my position and what that comes is having my community has been a very important part for me this year. Even though I don't interact with everyone in PRSSA, feeling the community and like feeling everyone is there for you is good. And we're miles apart, thousands of miles apart, and it doesn't matter. I mean, I feel that connection, I feel the support, and I think that is an important thing that keeps me uh, focused and centered.
Well, I'm glad it does keep you, I mean, focused and and centered, and that you're not letting, like I said, the grief consume you, but rather that you are, embracing the time that you did have and the opportunities that you have, and I mean, and truly, I mean, embracing and making it a part of you.
Thank you. From your calendar. Sorry about that. I have a meeting in like 20 minutes, and Alexa is reminding me of it. But yeah, thank you for your kind words. I appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, and on a little lighter note, so as you've been, of course, working to finish out 2025, are there any like ambitions that you have, or any personal plans or goals? And of course, I know PRSSA Icon is right around the corner of less than 50 days as of recording this.
Yeah, so a lot of things. I mean, it's going to be a very packed Q4 for PRSSA and for me. I'm very excited for Icon, especially the opportunity to connect with students and professionals from around the world. I mean, I'm looking forward to the educational sessions, to networking, to some things that I'm planning and I can't share yet, but hopefully are going to happen at Icon. And also to also host a lot of Latin American students at Icon this year as well. So I think it's going to be a very good and powerful experience to share ideas, to learn from other people while representing all Latin American chapters. I'll get to see you. I'll get to see a lot of people that I've been wanting to meet in person for a long time. So it's very rewarding. It's a thing that I really like. And then, I mean, Icon this year is going to be in Washington, so Washington D.C., and it's particularly exciting for me because I love politics. I love public affairs. It's a passion that I have. Now, I don't think it's something that I will devote my life and my career to, but it's something that I enjoy. So visiting the city will give me hopefully the chance to see governance, policy, and history like in front of me. So I think it's an opportunity to think about how communications and PR intersect with public service and advocacy. It kind of helps me bring back lessons and inspiration to my work, both in PRSA but also in my professional life. And I mean, I think for me this year is going to be very important as well, like personally. I mean, I'm graduating the 4th of December. So as of now, I have a calendar on there. So we're 87 days away since at the time of recording this podcast. And um, I mean, it'll be a very bittersweet experience again. I'm not good at goodbyes. I'm not good at leaving the spaces that I feel like home to me or that I mean that I've learned to make my own. So it's going to be hard, but it's going to be good. I mean, after graduation, I plan to continue growing professionally in communications, and I'm exploring graduate school at the time. So I mean, I will probably combine everything that I've learned so far and have a good year ahead in 2026. But for this year, I would say Icon in October. Then I will be at the Planck Summit and the Mentoring Milestones in Mentoring Gala in Chicago with the Planck Center in November. I'm going to meet my team from EY in the US. Then I'm graduating, and then I will hopefully take a 2 week break before the end of the year and disconnect from everything and everyone. So looking forward to that as well.
Well, you certainly have a lot of plans. It sounds like you'll be in the United States quite a bit at the end of this year.
Yes, I'll be there 3 weeks, so I'll hopefully have time to visit everyone. And if anyone sees that and wants to meet me in the US, either in DC, Chicago, or Detroit, just let me know and I'll be there.
I love that. And as a shameless plug, if you ever stop by Virginia, I mean, feel free to say hello to me. I'm only 3 hours away from DC.
Hopefully, I will. I mean, I'm exploring graduate school in the US for next year. Different locations, different schools, but uh, if I get there, I'll be there for a year, so I can make time a weekend and go there and visit.
I love that. And do you still have any graduate schools in mind? I know that you were very much favored towards one of them when we last spoke.
Yeah, I'm still aiming for the Paul. The public relations and advertising program is one of the best in communications in the U.S. And in the world. So I'm definitely aiming for that one. And I love Chicago, and I love the people from the Paul chapter. So I know they're going to be very kind with me and make me feel at home quickly. And then I'm also looking to some other options. I'm digging into one that is about creative business leadership. So I think it's good to combine my PR and communications experience with a more business side of things. So I think it'll be up to whether I get admitted to each college and how to work out the financial aid and everything. But I think those are the two main options now. So it's either going to be Georgia or Chicago. So different cities, different weather, different everything. So I don't know. It'll come down to that.
Well, I love that, and I know you have a meeting right after this, so we only have a few minutes. But Teo, is there anything else that you want to speak out before we begin? Go ahead and closing out this episode.
I mean, I think that we've covered a lot of things, but if something that I would like to share is more about PRSSA, I think it's been like 85% part of this interview. But um, I am still thinking about what you asked, and I've been fortunate to travel uh, and for PRSA and to meet a lot of people. And I know it's sometimes it's expensive, it's hard to plan, it's hard to get everything you need to be at an event, but I would definitely encourage people to go. Either leadership assembly, icon, a district conference, or a PRSA event in your area. Stay involved. I mean, go to the events, talk to people. It's, as I said, it's going to feel like you belong there and that you've been there for a long time, even though it's your first time. So, what I would say is stay involved in your community. And PRSA doesn't have an end. I mean, we can transition into PRSA. You can be an associate member for only $67 once you graduate. So it's not the end. And I think it's being fair and honest. PRSSA is a very good organization. We're the foremost organization for students in PR, and we're students for a reason, and then we're professionals for a reason. So PRSA, it's going to be hard to leave as a student, but I know I have PRSA waiting for me on the other side of the river. So I would definitely recommend everyone who is graduating to transition into PRSA, to stay involved in their local communities, and also when we are going uh, to be there in person, to go talk to the international committee, go talk to professionals who want to talk to. Just be open to the experience and don't think of it as, I mean, as a business or as something that you add to your resume. Think about it as a community of professionals and students who value what you do, to who understand why and where you're coming from. And I think it's very important to feel the community and to belong, and belonging comes from each other as well. So I think interacting with everyone is important. Um, I think that's the thing I have to share.
Well, I love that, and like I said, I'm so excited. Like I said, to finally, like I said, meet you in person. Like I said, at Icon 2025. If I guesstimate as to when this episode will release, it'll actually be one day after Icon. So it's funny to think that by the time that this goes out, we would have hopefully already have met each other in person by just a few hours, which is crazy to think about.
Yeah, well, we can if we get it, we'll add the picture to the end of the video, so you so the viewers will know that we met each other in person.
I love that. Yeah, we definitely will do that. And Teo, what does it mean for you to be able to tell your story, like I said, here on the podcast?
So I think that sharing my story here in person really is meaningful. It allows me to highlight my experience and my life and everything, but I think it's also a chance to inspire others to show the impact and the dedication um, to our community, and hopefully encourage other people to do the same and to pursue opportunities even when they seem daunting or when you feel everything is going against you, just do it. I mean, you have to push your limits, you have to go out of your comfort zone, and you will find someone waiting for you. You will find our community, you will find experience. And if it's a no, you will get a yes soon. So I think it's about taking the risk. It's about being open to new experiences, and being here is it helps me reflect, I think, on my personal and professional growth. uh, so I think that's a privilege, and I hope everyone who wants to be here and the podcast or to share their stories in any other way and format can do it. I think it's a very good way of grounding yourself and to reflect on things that we probably don't think about on a daily basis. So thank you for creating that space.
Of course, and let's say, and thank you so much for willing to, let's say, to share your story, be open, and like I said, it truly is appreciated.
Thank you.
Yes, and go ahead and closing this out for a two-part question I have for you. That is, what would you name this conversation that we just had, and then what would you want to end our episode with?
Um, well, I don't know. I mean, we've talked a lot about different things. Empathy is going to definitely be on the title. Uh, I think it was also a lot about how we reflect on our journey and how we grow. So I don't know, probably empathy question mark or like being empathetic with yourself and with others. I think on that area you'll work it out because you're better at this than me, but empathy has to be there, and both the aspect of the community but also taking time and being good with yourself is has to be there as well. So I'll leave it to you. But regarding more like a I don't know, like a closing thing that I would like to say, it's I mean, if there's one lesson that I've learned over the past few years and in my journey as a person and here as I say, is that growth oftentimes comes with discomfort. So every opportunity that shaped me, leading PRSSA, being a subcommittee member, fundraising for students in Latin America, stepping into a lot of challenging professional roles that I've been involved in the last years, came from saying yes to something that felt bigger than me. uh, I think that as we were talking, being able to step out of your comfort zone, to take the risk, to be exposed to a no, um, comes with you saying a lot of yeses to things that you know are going to feel uncomfortable, you know are going to feel awkward, you know are going to challenge you. So this past year, and these past 9 months in particular, dealing with grief and with a lot of personal challenges, added another layer to that lesson. And I think that even in the moments of pain, of discomfort, of grief, or of difficulty, showing up and learning into life allows you to discover a strength that you didn't know you had. When you are exposed to this kind of situations, when you have to continue working, studying, or like continue your life, even though life is happening around you and towards you, um, I think it helps you build a character and a persona that you don't know you have inside of you. So my encouragement for anyone who is listening to this is don't wait until everything feels perfect, because it probably never won't. So say yes. I mean, engage, trust yourself to navigate the unknown and to navigate your career, your personal life, your growth in your way. Don't let other people shape who you are. Let them influence you, let them challenge you, let them iterate everything you say, but try to be open to the experience and to lead your life as you want to live it. So that's where growth, connection, and impact will happen, both for you and for the people you live with. So I think that would be it.
I love that. Say yes and be empathetic. I think that's just a perfect way to close out this episode. Thank you so much, Teo, for, like I said, for coming here, for sharing your story, and I am so excited to see you very soon.
Yes. Well, we'll hopefully see each other in Icon, and you viewers will be seeing our picture right after this. So we'll pray for it.
Yes, we will. For those tuning in, thank you so much as always for tuning into the Tansson Talks show. I always appreciate your support. We'll continue tuning in, friends, every week as we continue on our mission of Republic Effort. I'll see you next time. Take care.